Well, hello, y'all, and welcome. I am Crafty Hope, and welcome to my contribution for Mixed Media Menagerie, June 2022. The hosts for Mixed Media Menagerie are Laura, Nicole, and Erin, and this month I'm the guest artist, y'all. I'm so honored. I want to thank the hosts for letting me be involved in this. This month, our prompts are to use 2 colors plus black and white, a gel plate, and a stencil or a mask. So I'm starting right off the bat with a gel plate. I'm using this gel press plate and alcohol inks. I thought about this, and I knew that stencil and masks had to go with the gel plate. It was just obvious to me. But then I couldn't decide what I wanted to do, and it finally hit me that I absolutely love how alcohol inks look on a jelly plate or a gel press plate, or yeah, a mono printing plate. And so I have pulled out pretty much all my shades of blue and brown because those are the 2 colors I'm using in addition to black and white. And I'm only going to be bringing, well, no, not only, but I'll be bringing them in a little bit, but mostly here in these prints I'm going to make. So the way I like to use alcohol inks on a gel plate is throw some colors on, move them around. I've seen this technique, I know, from Bridget Coopson, and you can find that, I'm sure, here on YouTube. But move that around with my brayer. That didn't be showing up much, so I threw some more down. I'm starting with the browns here, I think. And am I going to go ahead and put my blues on? I can't remember. Okay, no. I'm throwing down a stencil. Y'all, I don't even know. I think this is maybe a Crafter's Workshop stencil I've had 100 years. You can see how dirty and stained it is. But I'm going to put that down, make sure it is on the gel plate. And now I'm going to throw some blues at it, trying to make sure it gets into those little spaces in my stencil. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to let it dry for just a second. And then I'll pull my stencil up, and then I'm going to step away and make sure those alcohol inks are good and dry before I do the last step. So here I've put all my inks down, I think. I'm giving it a second. And then I'm going to pull that up as careful as I can. Oh, I moved it there, didn't I? So I'm going to pull it up, and I stepped away and let it dry, and I'm coming it back in with some acrylic paint in white. I'm using the Lucas titanium white, and then I'm going to put down just a very thin layer, just enough that's going to be able to pick up those inks. So you see I'm brayering off a lot of that white because I don't need all of that. And you could use other colors. You want something that those colors you've put down will pop on. So the white works, and black and white are our thing, so I knew that white would be the white way to go instead of a black. And then you just pull that up. And y'all, this was my favorite print of the ones I did. I'm going to do one more here for you, but I did do a couple others. After that, I'm only going to use one of them, so there'll be 3 that I use in this. And I've sped this up quite a bit because it's the same process. This time I threw some blues down. I think I put on a couple splashes of a brown. And y'all, look at how those alcohol inks react. I love it. And then I've got 2 stencils I'm going to put down. I think these are some Tim Holtz stencils. And making sure they're pressed down, and then I'm going to come back in with some blues and some browns, since those are my 2 colors that I'm working with along with the black and the white. Alright, so I'm doing the same thing, putting these inks down. I'm going to give them a second to dry, and then remove my stencils, let the inks dry, and then use my titanium white again to pull it all up. Now, if you have not tried this technique with a jelly plate and the alcohol inks, I highly recommend it. My big thing is that I love how grungy it gets. Oh, yeah, I completely forgot I did this. I put a little bit of one of the blues on a Q-tip to make some polka dots and just kind of move that around. I didn't end up liking it on this particular print, but I've seen other artists do it, and it can be super cute. Yeah, it didn't work for the grungy I was going. The polka dots were far too neat, I guess. So I'm gonna pull this one up. Yep, super yummy. All right, so there's the three there that I really like that I'm going to use. And I'm turning to this journal. It is not the journal that the three hosts are using, but it's my little cheat of one. It's just a notebook that's the right size that I found at the Dollar Tree. And I'm sticking pages together and just sewing them to prep because I know the journal they're using has mixed media paper in it. So it's my little cheat journal that I am playing along with Mixed Media Menagerie. So as you see, I am collaging. I love to stick some stuff down onto a page using my Oohoo glue stick. I'm trying to stick with black and white. Some of those pages have yellowed. I'm sure at some point they were white, and so I'm doing the best I can this time around. And some of them, that's a deli paper there. Some of these are kind of transparent. This is a typing paper. There's all kinds of stuff. I'm going to put some of the Tim Holtz tissue paper, collage paper, whatever it's called. I decided that tissue paper was too dark. I didn't want anything that was going to draw too much away from what I knew I was going to do after I collaged. So you'll see in a minute. It's a crazy mess, but I love it. All right, so I found that I was really digging the inside of envelopes. The security envelopes, they've got some great texture in them. So I've got 2 or 3 different kinds of security envelopes on this page that I am gluing down. I do love to collage. It adds so much texture to your background. And I like that it's whatever. You don't have to think about it. It's all very intuitive. And again, like last month, I'm trying not to fill up the whole page with everything. I want to keep a little bit of white space on here. So yeah, I do go a little farther than I did last month. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to push these back just a little bit using some white gesso and a gift card, key card. And you see, I just put that straight on my page, and I am scraping that gesso around on my paper. I want this very organic and not contrived. I actually wanted to use my brayer on there, but after I used it to jelly print, I couldn't find it again. And I know I've got another one somewhere, but I don't know. Yeah, y'all, I'm a mess. All right, so I dried that, and then I decided I wanted to use some instant coffee. It is brown, and I'm sure that when the host decided that you had to use 2 colors and black and white, they meant 2 specific colors, like a teal or a cadmium red or something like that. No, y'all, I can't. I had to do just blues and browns because those are my jam. It was the first thing I thought of when I saw 2 colors. I was like, well, I'll just use blue and brown because then I can still use my coffee and my favorite color of blue. So that may be taking it a little too far, but I had to do it. So I dried most of those coffee splatters up. I love my brown coffee splatters. It helps break up some of that background and make it still a little more cohesive. And once it was mostly dry, I did pick up any remaining liquid with my paper towel. All right, y'all, here's where I'm going to get crazy. I don't know what made me think to do this, but when I thought about having the black and white, this is what came to mind. I've got some black acrylic ink and a paintbrush, and I am just going to draw these lines all over the page. I do something similar to this when I do some of the neurographic doodling. That's not what I'm doing this time. I just wanted some really stark black lines. I wanted that black and white to be evident on this page. So I'm getting these down, and then I'm going to thicken these up. I'm going to do basically 2 of the widths of that paintbrush. So I've got it down once, and I'm going to come back. I decide it's not as thick as I want because what I want to do with this is make white marks on top of it so that I get that black and white definite. You see the black and white in a very graphic way, I suppose. So I'm getting this black down, and I'll go ahead and tell you since we're not there yet. But when I do the doodles, I am going to skip through some of it because I decided that I wanted every single black part on here to be covered with white dots. And y'all, that took me probably 15 minutes, maybe longer. So I sped this up, cut some of it out, because, yeah, it was just making dots. Now, I don't know why I decided on dots for this. I think my original intention was going to be little lines and dashes, which is my usual jam, but because of the paint pen that I'm going to use, it just felt more natural to make dots. We'll get to all that in a second. Right now, I'm just trying to make my black more definite black. I can see as it's drying in some places, it's, I guess, seeping into the gesso and the papers a little and being a little more gray. So I wanted this to be black, black. Such a definite black and white statement. All right, I'm coming to the close of this. Um, I want to thank Nicole and Erin and Laura for asking me to be the guest artist this month. I am completely honored. I'm a little overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do, so I hope this is okay. Because what they do every month with the Mixed Media Menagerie is always so beautiful and so inspiring. So I'm just playing. That's what most of my art journaling is. I tend to make jewelry, and so doing art journal stuff is kind of my break from that. Though I've started into assemblage. If you've seen some of my 100-day project, that's been a big passion of mine lately. So you can see I'm using this Sharpie poster paint pen in white, and I could have used any kind of, I think I had some other white pens around me just in case I didn't like this one. And when I started making these dots, I didn't really pump my, what do you call it? The tip. And so I did it later. And so some of my later dots got bigger. So I'm coming back in here, you can see, and going over different areas of it, making some of the dots bigger. It was just a thing. It was bothering me. Nobody would probably ever notice but me. You can see, I think here it's upside down maybe. I did turn my page as I was working to try to keep my hand from dragging through my dots. But yeah, y'all, that was it. Everywhere there was that black, I was putting dots. And here's my final finishing up. Oh, well, maybe I did have it in the right way before. Yeah, it's hard to tell. All right, so I've got a couple different paper punches that make circles. This one is a Fiskars, no, it's an EK Tools one that punches out several different sizes circles, and then the other one I think is just a 1-inch circle. So I'm going to go through my jelly printed papers and punch some circles. I'm going to get, I think this one I got, and it doesn't matter how many I got, but I punched some of each of the 3 pages that I liked from my jelly prints. And I found that the thinner papers did not punch quite as well as the thicker papers. So there's a tip. And now I'm coming back with my Oohoo glue stick again and my dots. And I am sticking them all down. Not all of them. Some of those little tiny ones, y'all, just were far too fiddly for me to deal with. But I'm starting with the biggest ones and to try to help make sure that everything's evenly distributed. So anything that felt like it was the bigger one, I'm sticking it down, and then from that center, I'm kind of moving from the upper left to the lower right. From there, I kind of spread out with the smaller ones. I'm going to speed this up here in a second so you don't have to watch me meticulously glue every single one of these jelly printed dots. I do hope that if you have any questions about this process or why I did any of it, that you'll let me know below. Please go check out Nicole, Erin, and Laura's videos for this Mixed Media Menagerie. And if you want to play along with these 3 prompts, and again, it's 2 colors, your choice, plus black and white, using a gel plate, and then stencils or masks. Those are the 3 prompts. And if you want to play along and you don't have YouTube, make sure you, if you have Instagram, this is a tag along. Use the hashtag here on here on YouTube or over on Instagram. The hashtag is hashtag MMMJUN22. And the JUN is like June. Just leave the E off. So MMMJUN22. And you can also use the hashtag Mixed Media Menagerie so that everybody, because I want to see what y'all do with these prompts. When I saw these, I was like, oh yeah, I love these prompts. These will be great. And then I overthought it, I think, a little bit. But I went with things that I really enjoyed, things that felt good to me, things that I wanted to invest a little time in. So doing the gel prints with the alcohol inks, there's a little bit of drying time, but I didn't care. Doing all of the dots on those black lines, that was almost meditative to a point. So I was really just doing what felt right to me, what felt good, because that's what art journaling is supposed to be about, is doing it for your soul. Make your soul happy. Make it right. All right, so now that I've got all my stickers, well, one came up there. Now that my stickers, not stickers, my circles are stuck down, I'm going around them with a Stabilo all pencil in black. And I'm sure if you've seen my videos, y'all will know what comes after I circle all these circles. And I will activate them with a pretty wet paintbrush to, it helps that Stabilo, if you've never used one of these Stabilo all pencils, they are water reactive. They're called an all pencil because they will mark on all surfaces: glass, plastic, paper, ceramics, whatever. They're fabulous, but they are water soluble so that they can be wiped away if you don't want them on those surfaces anymore. Us mixed media artists use them almost like a watercolor pencil. But I like how like yummy and grungy and dark they get when you activate them. So that's all I'm doing here with my probably too tiny of a paintbrush, but I wanted to make sure I could get between some of those circles without making too much of a mess. So I'm just loading it up with water. Okay, we're getting close to the end here, y'all. I'm sorry if this has been too much. I always say I'm sorry in my videos, and I shouldn't. I have nothing to apologize for. I had a good time making this, and I hope you are having a good time watching me make this. It was one of those things that I just like, I want to make a lot of something that I enjoy doing. So that's what I did. It doesn't make any sense, but it doesn't have to. It's my art. Alright, so I am finishing up, activating that last circle, and then I need a focal. This was just kind of my background, and since one of the things was black and white, I'm going to use a black and white photo that I found in my stash that's got a group of like 5 high school kids, it looks like, goofing off in the street. They cracked me up, so I tore the top of it a little to give it a little texture. It felt too structured with all of that circles and everything. And then to back it, I've got this old threadbare towel that, y'all, I can't seem to throw it away because I love how threadbare it is. So I knew it had to go into some art. So I'm cutting down a square and ripping parts of it to just kind of have something for that picture to be backed by. I also have a piece of black creepy cloth. That's that weird cloth that you can find at most dollar stores during like October for Halloween. And I'm going to stick this little stack down with some matte gel medium. Whew. So I'm going to just put that on my page, put it on that towel, put it on the back of my picture, and weigh that down for a second. And then I've got some sentiment stickers. I believe it's art by Marlene. I found them at Joggles. Everything else I'll put links to Amazon. But those I have only found on joggles.com. And I think I picked something that said, make memories that count or something like that. Oh, it's make moments that matter. That's what it is. And that's it, y'all. This page is done. I sincerely hope you enjoyed this and encourage you to go check out Nicole, Erin, and Laura's contributions to this Mixed Media Menagerie. I want to thank them for asking me to be the guest artist. I'm so honored. And thanks for coming by. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe. All right, y'all. Bye.